Welcome back everyone to another exciting video. Today we have a special treat for all of you SharePoint enthusiasts out there. We will be diving into some SharePoint framework questions for intermediate users. Whether you are a developer or an aspiring SharePoint expert, these questions will put your knowledge to the test. And fear not, we have got answers ready to help you out. So let's get started. So the question one. What is SharePoint Framework and how does it differ from the classic SharePoint development model? The SharePoint is a modern client-side development model for building custom solutions in SharePoint Online and SharePoint 2019. Unlike the classic SharePoint development model that primarily relied on server-side code and sandbox solutions, the SPFx allows developer to build solutions using popular client-side technologies such as React, Angular, and TypeScript. This approach enables developer to create responsive and user-friendly experiences within the SharePoint environment. Moving on to the next question, what are the key components of a SharePoint framework solution? A SharePoint framework solution consists of the following key components. Web parts. These are the building blocks of SPFX solutions representing custom components that can be added to the SharePoint pages. Extensions. Extensions allow you to extend the SharePoint user experience such as adding custom menu or headers. Libraries. SPFX solutions can utilize external libraries or APIs to enhance functionality. Configuration. The SPFX solutions can have configurable properties that users can set to personalize their experience. The deployment asset. This includes files like JavaScript, CSS, and images required for the solutions to function correctly. Next up, how can you debug a SharePoint framework solution? To debug a SharePoint framework solution, you have few options. Local workbench. Use the local SharePoint workbench to test and debug web parts in your development environment without deploying to SharePoint Online. Hosted workbench. You can also deploy your SPFX solution to a SharePoint Online test site and use the hosted workbench for debugging. Browser developer tools. The modern browser offers powerful developer tools to inspect and debug client-side code. Use them to identify and fix issues in your solution. Here is a coding related question. How do you make REST API calls in SharePoint Framework? To make a REST API call in SharePoint Framework, you can use the sp-http client class provided by the SPFX framework. This class abstracts the underlying HTTP requests and handles authentication automatically. You can choose between get, post, put, delete, etc. methods to interact with SharePoint data using REST endpoints. Ensure you have the necessary permissions to access the SharePoint data you are querying or updating. Next question is, what are the best practices for deploying the SharePoint framework solution? Some best practices for deploying the SharePoint framework solutions include minimizing and external dependencies, reduce reliance on external resources to improve solution performance and maintainability, implement versioning. Always include version numbers for your SPFX solutions to enable easy rollback and updates. Following ALM practices, utilize application lifecycle management techniques such as continuous integration and automated testing to ensure a smooth deployment process. Properly handling errors. Implement error handling to provide meaningful feedback to users and facilitate issue resolution. Monitoring and maintenance. Regularly monitor your solution for performance and functional issues and keep them up to date with SharePoint changes. Time for another question. What is the role of gulp serve command in SharePoint Framework development? The gulp serve command is a crucial part of the SharePoint Framework development process. It initiates a local development server that allows you to test and preview your SPFx solutions in real time. With gulp serve, you can see how your web parts and extensions will behave in the SharePoint context before deploying them to live environment. Let's talk about SharePoint Framework versioning. What is the significance of the package-solution.json file in the SPFX solution development? The package-solution.json file is used to manage the versioning of SharePoint Framework solutions. It contains information about the solution, including its version number, which is crucial for tracking changes and ensuring smooth updates. When deploying an updated version of your SharePoint solution, the version number in this file must be incremented to trigger the update for end users. How can you make your SharePoint Framework solution responsive and adaptive to different screen sizes? So to answer that, to make your SPFX solution responsive and adaptive, you should utilize CSS media queries. By setting specific styles based on the screen width or device type, you can ensure that your web parts and extensions look and function correctly across various devices, such as desktops, tablets, and smartphones. Moving to the authentication. How can you implement secure authentication in SharePoint Framework solutions? The SharePoint Framework solutions support various authentication methods, including ADAL, that's Active Directory Authentication Library, MSAL, that is Microsoft Authentication Library, and AAD, that is Azure Active Directory Authentication. By utilizing these libraries, you can securely authenticate users and ensure that only authorized individuals can access your solution's functionality. SharePoint Framework provides various client-side APIs. Can you explain the purpose of this sp-pnp-js library? Sure. The sp-pnp-js library, also known as PNP, PNP, that is pattern and practices, is a popular JavaScript library used in the SharePoint Framework solutions. It provides a set of convenient methods and abstractions to interact with SharePoint data using REST APIs. PNP simplifies common tasks such as CRUD, that is create, read, update, and delete operations on lists and libraries, making it easier for faster development of SPFX solutions. Why it is essential to bundle and minify your SharePoint framework solution before deployment. Building and minification are essential steps in the SharePoint framework development process. Bundling combines multiple files into a single file, reducing the number of HTTP requests required to load your solution. Minification, on the other hand, removes unnecessary characters and spaces from your JavaScript and CSS files, reducing their size. Their optimization results in faster loading times and improved performance for end users. When would you choose one over another? The choice between tenant-scoped and site-scoped deployment depends on the scope of your solution's functionality. Tenant-scoped solutions are deployed at the tenant level and can be used across multiple sites within the tenant. Site-scoped solutions, on the other hand, are limited to a specific site collection. Choose tenant-scope deployment when your solution offers functionality that is relevant to and beneficial to multiple sites and opt for site scope deployment for site specific enhancements. How can you efficiently manage and load these dependencies? D. To efficiently manage and load external dependencies in SPFx solution, we can use the SP component loader class. This class provides method to load JavaScript and CSS files dynamically at runtime. Additionally, you can use tools like npm and webpack to handle dependencies and ensure that only necessary resources are loaded, optimizing your solution's performance. What are the security considerations when interacting with external APIs? When using third-party APIs in SPFX solutions, security of utmost importance. Ensure that you are using secure and authenticated endpoints. Avoid exposing sensitive information such as API keys in the client-side code. Consider using server-side code or Azure functions as a middle tier to interact with the external API securely. Always validate and sanitize data received from external APIs to prevent security vulnerabilities. How can you make your web part multilingual to cater to a diverse audience? To make SPFX web parts multilingual, you can use the SharePoint framework to localization feature by using the Microsoft SP Load subset library. You can access the localization API and retrieve localized strings based on the user's language preferences. Store the localized string in separate resource files for each supported language, making it easy to update and maintain translations for your solution. And that concludes our set of 50 intermediate level SharePoint framework interview questions. I hope you found this session informative and beneficial for your SharePoint development journey. Don't forget and like and share this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to our channel for more valuable content like this, and as always, keep exploring, learning, and pushing the boundaries of what you can achieve with SharePoint framework. Happy coding!